In this video, we'll talk about another common error you'll see with your scheme code, and that is the contract violation error. So here I have a scheme program with 3 defines, and I'll run this to make sure it's loaded in memory. So you can see I have A, B, and C all defined. Now I can say something like plus A 10, and I get 11. And if I do plus AB, I also get the expected result. But if I say plus A, B, C, I get a contract violation. Now the key here is to read the error carefully because it'll tell you a lot of information that's going to help you figure out what went wrong. And you'll notice here it says, I expected a number, but I was given the symbol 4. It even tells you which position that is. It was the third argument. So we have our operator, first, second, third argument. This argument evaluates to the symbol 4, and so it's a mistake. The same thing would happen if I had a string. So after I load this, if I say plus a D, I get a contract violation. And this would happen anytime you have an operation that's given an operand of the wrong type. So if I say something like string to symbol D, no problem. But if I say string to symbol C, it expected a string, it was given 4, which was a symbol. Or if I say string symbol B, again, contract violation, it expected a string, I gave it an integer. Now where this will sometimes crop up is if you have a function. So here I have a function, and it's a pretty simple function. All it does is it checks to see, okay, if x is equal to 0, it returns null. Otherwise, it divides 100 by the number. So if I say func A or func B, you can see you get the results you would expect. If I did something like func 0, I get an empty list, which is null, because that's what my function specifies. However, if I use this in arithmetic, I get a contract violation. I expected a number, and I was given null. And notice it's the third argument, which is this function call right here. That function call returned an invalid type, and so therefore, when I tried to use it in an addition statement, I got a contract violation. So again, whenever you see this contract violation, it'll always tell you what it's expecting, what it was given, and where that argument was, and that will help you determine where it's getting that bad value. And where that gets tricky is when it's a return value from a function that you're expecting to be an integer, but in this case, we got a null, which is not an integer. So when you're writing functions, you want to make sure that you always return an appropriate type if you're going to be using that function to generate values of that type.